Hello friends, welcome to my YouTube channel Kavita Medicos Education. So today's topic is congestive heart failure or heart failure. So heart failure does not means that heart has stopped its pumping action. Okay, heart failure does not means that heart have completely failed to stop its pumping action. Okay, so what does heart failure? Heart failure means the heart is not able to ejaculate that much amount of blood which our body cells and tissue need for their metabolic activity. Okay, for their metabolic activity. So let's see the definition. Heart failure is a condition. So which condition it is? It is a physiological condition of the heart. Okay, so it is a physiological condition of heart in which heart has lost the ability. Okay, it have lost its power due to the weakness in the heart. Okay, due to any disease condition, due to the weakness in the heart. So heart have lost its ability to pump the enough, means it is not able to pump out the sufficient amount of blood which our cells and tissue required. Okay, so it is not able to pump out the enough blood to the body tissue to fulfill its demand. Okay, so heart is not able to pump out that sufficient amount of blood which our body cells and tissue need for their metabolic function. Okay, so due to the weakness in the heart or due to any disease condition of the heart is not able to pump out, not able to generate out that much amount of blood, enough amount of blood which our cells and tissue need for their metabolic activity. Okay, so not a disease but a syndrome. So heart failure is a syndrome, means it is a group of symptoms. Okay, so it is not a disease. It is associated with numerous type of cardiovascular disease. So patient who are suffering from many cardiovascular disease, they can go through the heart failure condition. Okay, so there are different types of heart failure condition like systolic heart failure and diastolic heart failure. There is right side heart failure and there is left side heart failure also. And when the both right and left side heart fails, it is called as biventricular heart failure. Okay, it is called as biventricular heart failure. So suppose this is a normal diagram of our heart. Okay, so I am making, this is right atrium and this is right ventricle. Okay, so here it is left atrium and it is left ventricle. Okay, here it is tricuspid valve. So what is the normal mechanism of the circulation of blood in the heart? From the superior and inferior vena cava, the blood comes in the right atrium. Then by the opening of this tricuspid valve, it goes into the right ventricle. Through right ventricle contraction, it will go from the pulmonary artery to the lungs for its gases exchange, oxygen and CO2. Okay, for its gases exchange for the purification of the blood. Then from the pulmonary vein, it comes into the left atrium and then again into the left ventricle. And from the left ventricle, due to the left ventricle contraction, it goes into the aorta and to our systematic circulation. Okay, to our body. So this was one normal mechanism of circulation. So suppose we are discussing with the heart failure. Okay, so we are discussing with the heart failure. So what is the normal amount of blood which the healthy heart eject from the ventricle? What is the normal amount of blood which the healthy heart will eject? Okay, so that is called as cardiac output. So how much should be the cardiac output of the normal person? So it is calculated as beats per minute into stroke volume beat. Okay, so beats means how many beats it's doing in 1 minute. So it is beating 70 times in a minute. Okay, so stroke volume means the blood which is ejaculated from the ventricle. Okay, the blood, left ventricle, the blood which is ejaculated from the left ventricle into the aorta. Okay, and the normal range is 70 ml. The normal range is 70 ml. So that is called as our stroke volume. Okay, how much blood is ejaculated from the ventricles to the aorta for meeting the metabolic need of our body. So that is 70 ml. So it is multiplied by 70 ml beat. So it will be 4900 ml. So it is 5 liter. It means the healthy heart will pump out the 5 liter of blood to our body. Okay, it will pump out the 5 liter to our body. So what is happening in heart failure? Suppose this, we are taking the example of systolic contraction heart failure. Okay, systolic means contraction heart failure, when there is contraction heart failure. So we are taking the example of left ventricle. So this is our left ventricle. So due to any disease condition, okay, due to any disease condition, suppose this left ventricle size get enlarged. Okay, there is cardiomyopathy in this ventricle. There is cardiomyopathy in this ventricle, and due to myocardial infarction or due to ischemia, the cells and tissue get death of this part. Okay, the myocardial cells and tissue get death of this part. So what will happen? This ventricle will not able to pump out the sufficient amount of blood, because this ventricle have been enlarged, it has been bulged out. So due to the bulge out of this ventricle, it is thin and flex, it is thin and weak. Okay, this ventricle is now thin and weak. So what will happen? When the blood from the left atrium will get preloaded. Preload means the blood which is filling in the ventricles when it is in the relaxation form. Okay, when the ventricle is in the relaxation form and the blood which is pouring, okay, the blood which is coming in the ventricle, that is called as preload. Okay, preload means the blood which is in the ventricles just before the contraction. Okay, so sufficient amount of blood have been come to this left ventricle. So that is normal range is 110 ml. Okay, suppose we are taking the example of 110 ml. So what will happen? Will be this ventricle able to contract properly? As we have seen, this is physiologically this ventricle have been thin and weak. So it will not able to eject out the sufficient amount of blood. Okay, so due to its condition, it will not able to eject out the sufficient amount of blood. So ejection fraction. Now we are discussing with ejection fraction. So what is normal ejection fraction? Okay, we are taking the example of healthy heart. So what is the normal ejection fraction? Suppose how you will calculate the ejection fraction? Total amount of blood, okay, 110 ml, which is our preload. Okay, which is our preload blood. So how much is the stroke volume? At one stroke it will generate 70 ml of blood. So that is 70. Now what will be the ejection fraction into 100? That will be 62%. Okay, that will be 62%. So you have seen this scale. Okay, this is the normal scale of ejection fraction. So from 50% to 70% ejection fraction, that comes into the normal range. Okay, and from 40 to 50% it will comes into the borderline, and which is 40% and below 40% it will come into the systolic heart failure. So this was the normal. Okay, this is normal. Suppose what is happening now? Left ventricle. Okay, we are discussing with the left ventricle. So total amount of blood which is filled in the left ventricle, that is 110 ml. But due to its weakness and due to its thinning, it will not able to contract that blood into the aorta. So suppose it have contract only 44 ml of blood. Okay, we are discussing with systolic heart failure. So it have only ejaculate 44 ml of blood. So what will be the ejection fraction now? 44 divided by 110 into 100. So it will be 40%. Okay, it will be 40%. So due to systolic heart failure, due to inability of the heart to contract, it have only generate 40% of ejection fraction, which comes in the systolic heart failure. Okay, which comes in the systolic heart failure. Now there is diastolic heart failure. Diastolic means relaxation heart failure. Okay, I am discussing with the left side of the heart only. So this is our left side of the heart. Okay, so this is bicuspid valve. Now we are discussing with diastolic, means relaxation heart failure. So what happens in the diastole condition? The blood gets filled up into the heart. While the heart relaxes, the blood gets filled up into the heart. So We are discussing with diastolic heart failure. So what will happen in the diastolic condition? Due to restrictive cardiomyopathy, due to the deposition of some iron or fibroid, okay, this size of this left ventricle get decreased. Okay, the size of this left ventricle get decreased, or due to alcohol condition, or due to long term of alcoholic condition of the patient, what will happen? These muscles will get stiff and hard. Okay, the myocardium muscles will get stiff and hard, due to which the blood will not able to fill properly into this chamber, because the ventricles size get restricted. Now why the size of ventricles get restricted? Due to its thickening. Okay, due to its thickening and its stiffness. So suppose now there is filling of only 69 ml of blood in the left ventricle due to the less space. Okay, and it have ejaculated 44 ml. Okay, it have ejaculated 44 ml. So what will be the ejaculation fraction? 44 divided by 69 into 100. That will be 64%. But in diastole condition, it have comes in the normal range. So is this a diastolic heart failure? Yes, it is. Okay, yes, it is a diastolic heart failure condition, because at some point of time these cells are doing lot of work and lot of contraction mechanism to push to generate out this amount of blood. So what will happen due to this hard work of this myocardial cell? It will get more stiff. Okay, and in further time it will get more stiff and it will get more hard. So the size will get decreased further. Okay, this size will get decreased further and this cell will become hard and stiff. So it comes into the diastolic heart condition. Okay, so mainly for healthy heart. Okay, what are the three things for the healthy heart? Three things for the healthy heart should be that the myocardium, the muscles of the heart should be healthy. Okay, the muscles of the heart should be healthy. The internal condition of the heart should be healthy. The preload should be adequate. Okay, and the afterload means the resistance which is from the aorta or from the arteries, it should be minimum. Okay, that is the normal blood circulation condition. Okay, now we are discussing with the right side heart failure and left side heart failure. So this is right atrium. Okay, this is right ventricle, this is left atrium, and this is left ventricle. So when the blood again will come from the superior inferior vena cava into the right atrium, due to the opening of this tricuspid valve, okay, the blood will go into the right ventricle. Suppose that same condition is happening in the right ventricle. This right ventricle have been expanded and its muscles is weak and thin, that it could not contract the blood further in the pulmonary artery. So what will happen? Now this right ventricle, due to any disease condition, it is not able to contract the blood in the pulmonary artery. So what will happen? This blood will flow back into the right atrium. Okay, this blood will again flow into the right atrium back. But the right atrium is getting the blood from superior and inferior vena cava. So much pressure will generate where? It will generate into the right atrium. So again this blood will flow back into the body. Okay, this blood will flow into the back in the body. So in the lower region of the patient, the patient will suffer from the edema, like the legs edema. There will be pitting edema in the legs. There is ascites in the abdomen. There is liver fluid overload, that is called as hepatomegaly. There is splenomegaly conditions in the patient due to the gravity and due to the fluid overload, that these fluid will come into the lower body of the patient. Okay, and in the upper body the patient, what symptoms we will see? There is jugular vein distension in the patient. Okay, the patient who is suffering from the right heart failure, okay, right heart failure, these are the symptoms. Which symptoms? Like the edema, like the swelling in the jugular vein, okay, hepatomegaly, splenomegaly, ascites condition is seen in the patient of right sided heart failure. And what are the symptoms which is seen in the left sided heart failure? Suppose this left side is not able to contract properly, so again this blood will go back into the left atrium, and from the left atrium through the pulmonary vein it will go into the lungs. So what it will do in the lungs? It will form a congestion in the lungs, means there is a fluid buildup in the lungs. Okay, there is overload of the fluid in the lungs. That's why it is sometimes called as congestive heart failure. Why it is congestive heart failure? Because the fluid is built up into the lungs and into the body. That's why it is called as congestive heart failure. Okay. We are going to see the types of heart failure. So first is our left-sided heart failure. It means the left part of the heart is unable to generate out the sufficient amount of the blood which our body needs for their metabolism. Okay. So left side is not able to pump out the sufficient amount of blood. So it is the most common form of heart failure. So most commonly the left heart ventricle had been failed. Okay, so it is seen in the most common peoples. The left ventricle no longer pump enough blood around the body. So actually what is happening in the left ventricle? Why it is not able to generate out the enough amount of the blood? Suppose here I am drawing left ventricle. Okay, so it is our aorta. So what is happening in the left ventricle, that is it is not able to generate out the enough supply of the blood to the body. Suppose if there is myocardial infarction in this cell. Okay, here is ischemic heart disease in this cell. So in ischemic heart disease what is happening? The myocardial cells will become dead. They are necrosed. Okay, and there is more condition like if there is more preload. Okay, so what is preload? The filling of blood into the ventricles while they are in the relaxation form. Okay, when the ventricles are in the relaxation form, so how much amount of blood has been filled in the ventricles, that is called preload, or we can also call it end diastolic volume. It means just before the contraction, the blood which remain present in the ventricles, that is called as preload. Okay, so if there is more filling of blood in the ventricles, so what will happen by the more filling of the blood in the ventricles? It will become dilated. Okay, this chamber, this left ventricle chamber will become much dilated. Okay, and become much weaker and thin. Okay, when this ventricle become much dilated, so what will happen? These cells, this myocardial muscles will become thin and weak, and it will not able to generate the enough supply of blood to the body. And if these ventricle cells have been hard and stiff, so why they are hard and stiff? Due to the deposition of some amyloid and fibroids. Okay, if any amyloids and fibroids will get deposited into the ventricles wall, then it will become hard and stiff, and hard and stiff ventricle will not able to pump sufficient amount of blood volume up to the aorta. Okay, and if the size of the ventricle get reduced, then preload will be less and less blood will be ejaculate out. So this was our left ventricle heart failure. So next, right sided heart failure. So same condition is happening in the right ventricle. Okay, the same condition, the same situations are happening in the right ventricle. So what is happening in the right ventricle? If there is hypertrophy of these cells, so it will become stiff and hard, and if the size of this right ventricle chamber have been increased and that chamber become weak and thin, so it will not able to contract the enough amount of blood to the pulmonary vein, and they will not reach up to the lungs where there will be no exchange of CO2 and oxygen. Okay, so same condition is happening in the right ventricle. So right ventricle is too weak to pump out the blood to lungs. Okay, they are unable to pump out blood to the lungs. This build up pressure in your veins. So here the pressure will increase. Okay, in the veins, in the backward pressure will increased. Next, there is high output heart failure. So why it is called as high output? It means that heart is fulfilling the normal requirement of blood of the body. Okay, means the heart is able to pump out the normal range of cardiac output. So how much is the normal range of cardiac output? That is 5 liters. Okay, but if due to certain conditions or due to certain causes, if the body demand will get increased, then what will happen? The heart will not able to meet that body demand. Okay, suppose the normal healthy heart generate cardiac output of 5 liters, and due to any cause or condition, if the demand of body is 10 liter. So what will happen? The heart will not able to fulfill that demand. Okay, so there are certain conditions in which there is increased metabolic activity of the body, like thyrotoxicosis. When there is increase of T3 and T4 hormone, then metabolism of cells and tissue will get increased. Okay, and AV fistula. AV fistula means when arteries and veins are attached. Okay, so when heart is generating normal blood of oxygen and nutrition rich, so it will mix up into the veins blood. Okay, and that rich amount of blood will not able to reach to the cell and tissue. Then there is pregnancy. If there is more than one fetus in the womb of a pregnant lady, so heart have to do more work to fulfill the patient, to fulfill the demand of pregnant lady as well as the demand of the fetuses, of the growing fetuses. Next, there is severe anemia. If someone is having low output of hemoglobin, so what will happen? There is no molecule which can carry the oxygen to the, their hemoglobin carry oxygen to the body tissue. So when there is low amount of severe anemia, so heart have to generate high volume of blood supply to the body. Then there is low output heart failure. In this condition, compensatory mechanism. Okay, when heart will generate high amount of blood supply to the body, then after some time, means after some situation, what will happen? It will become weak and dull. It will not able to generate out even the normal supply of blood to the body. So it is a compensatory mechanism which has happened due to high output generation capacity of the heart, or due to certain disease conditions of ventricles, like there is hypertrophy, or there is restrictive cardiomyopathy, or there is MI, or there is ischemic heart disease. Okay, so compensatory mechanism eventually failed, resulting in a low cardiac output. Here heart is not able to generate even the normal amount of blood which is required for our cells and tissue. Systolic heart failure. So systolic heart failure is also known as reduced ejection fraction. It means the ejection of blood which is done from the ventricle has been reduced. Okay, so systolic means there is a contraction failure. Okay, the ventricles are not able to contract properly and they are not able to eject out the sufficient amount of blood. Okay, so how we will calculate the ejection fraction? So ejection fraction, it is being calculated as stroke volume. So stroke volume means the volume of blood which is generated from the ventricles. Okay, the volume of blood which is generated from the ventricles, it is divided by total volume of blood. Okay, total volume of blood which is filled in the ventricles. Okay, the preload amount. Okay, the preload amount when the heart is in the relaxed form. So total how much amount of blood has been filled in the ventricles, that is called as total volume. So normal range is 110 ml and suppose the stroke volume is 70 ml. So how much will be the ejection fraction? It will be 64%. Okay, which comes in the normal range. So it is a healthy heart condition. But when the ejection fraction is less than 40%, it means the ventricles have not done proper ejection fraction. Okay, so poor ventricle contraction leads to reduced ejection fraction. If ventricles will not able to contract, okay, due to any condition, like if there is cardiomyopathy in the ventricles, if there is ischemic heart disease, myocardial infarction, there is valve regurgitation, okay, there is stenosis of the pulmonary and aortic valve, then what will happen? The ventricles will feel overload due to blood, and if there is much preload in the ventricles, then what will happen? The muscles of the ventricles become weak, enlarged, floppy, dilated and fails to contract efficiently. If more blood will be filled in the ventricles, then the ventricles wall will become weak and thin, and due to which it is not able to push out the blood from the ventricles. Okay, so there will be reduced ejection fraction. So why we call it reduced ejection fraction? Because the ventricle is not able to contract properly. Next, there is diastolic heart failure. Diastole means in relaxation form, when the ventricles are in the relaxation form. Okay, so in diastolic heart failure, the blood is not able to fill in the ventricles properly. So why the ventricles are not able to fill properly? Because due to any condition, like if there is hypertrophy of any ventricle, okay, any ventricle like right and left ventricle, if there is hypertrophy of any ventricle, then what will happen? The ventricle size has been reduced and the ventricle will become hard and stiff. Okay, so hard and stiff ventricle will not able to pump out the blood. So it is called as diastolic heart failure, and it is also known as preserved ejection fraction, means the filling of blood is less in the small chamber of ventricle. So heart muscles became stiff, thick, rigid, inelastic, due to which they are no longer to fill properly. Okay, so heart is like a rubber band. If we will stretch the rubber band like this, then it will contract more, and if we will stretch it more out of its limit, then what will happen? It will lose its elasticity. So same situation, same condition happens in the heart. Okay, in diastolic condition, the heart is not able to relax properly. Okay, in diastolic condition, due to its small size, due to hard and stiffness of the ventricle muscles, the blood will not able to fill properly in the ventricles. So what it will eject out, if there is no sufficient amount of blood for contraction of the ventricle, then it will not eject out the proper amount of blood. Okay, so next we have forward and backward cardiac failure. So forward and backward condition, these both condition could happen. Okay, this both condition could happen in the right ventricle as well as in the left ventricle also. Okay, here it is right ventricle, here it is left ventricle. So these both condition can happen in any ventricle. Suppose I am taking right ventricle. Okay, so right ventricle is hypertrophy. Okay, and there is excessive filling of the right ventricle due to disorder of this valve. There is valve regurgitation. Okay, there is filling in the right ventricle, but right ventricle chamber is not able to push the blood into the pulmonary vein. Okay, for the gases exchange in the lungs. So what will happen? The more blood will get occluded at the right ventricle. So a high pressure will generate in the right ventricle. And again, what is happening? From the superior and inferior vena cava, the blood is continuously filling into the right atrium, but right ventricle is not contracting the blood forward in forward condition. Okay, so there is forward failure, and in backward failure, this blood which is filling in the right ventricle will again go into the right atrium due to pressure overload. So if this blood will again go into the right atrium, then it will go into the superior and inferior vena cava. So what are the symptoms which we see in the patient of right ventricular failure? If the person is having right ventricular failure, then what symptoms we see in the patient? In the superior vena cava, the blood will go up to the upper body and there will be jugular vein distension. Okay, and from the inferior vena cava, and due to gravity also, this blood will accumulate in the lower body, like in the abdomen. There is a condition of ascites, there is a condition of swelling in the legs, there is edema in the body. Okay, there is edema in the liver, hepatomegaly, there is splenomegaly, there is ascites and edema of the legs of the patient. So if someone is right ventricular failure, these conditions are seen in the patient's body. And if same conditions happens in the left ventricle, then what is happening? The pressure is generated in the left ventricle, but it is unable to contract the blood forward into the aorta. Okay, so what will happen? This blood will go back to the left atrium, and from left atrium it will go back to the pulmonary artery to the lungs. Okay, so fluid will get accumulated in the lungs of the patient. So if any patient is suffering from the left ventricular failure, so in that patient we can see the pulmonary congestion symptoms, means in the pulmonary, in the lungs, the fluid will get accumulated. Okay, so in left ventricular failure, the pulmonary symptoms are seen in the patient. Okay, and due to forward failure, it is unable to forward the blood into the aorta. So what will happen? Our cells and tissue in the body will suffer from a severe condition of hypoxia, and there are severe complications which could be seen in the patient. Okay, there is forward failure and there is backward failure in the left ventricle. Okay, in the left ventricle, the backward failure is in the pulmonary, system, okay, in the pulmonary system. The patient will have congestion in the pulmonary system, and in forward failure, it is unable to forward the blood in the aorta. So what will happen? The body will suffer from lots of complications, okay. So next, there is acute and chronic condition. So acute means a sudden condition of heart failure. So how a sudden condition of heart failure will generate? If someone is having a venous thrombosis in leg, and that thrombus get stuck out from that area and it moves up to the heart, so where it will choke? It will choke in the pulmonary artery or aorta. So what will happen? There will be sudden cardiac failure. Or if due to endocarditis there is valve infection, okay, any valve get infected, then it leads to sudden cardiac failure. And if due to major heart attack like myocardial infarction in the major heart attack condition, if there is lot of muscles gets damaged due to myocardial infarction, then heart will suddenly go into the cardiac failure. And if that infected myocardium, okay, breaks, and the blood will get accumulated into the pericardial space also, then it is called as cardiac tamponade condition. That will also comes in the acute cardiac failure condition. And in chronic means it is a long term process of cardiac failure. Like if someone is suffering from hypertension from a long time, okay, someone is alcoholic from a long time, or if there is any disease condition which is coming from a long time like myocardial infarction, ischemic heart disease, then it will leads to chronic means long time heart failure. To see the causes and risk factor of congestive heart failure. So first cause is coronary artery disease. When there is narrowing of the coronary artery due to the deposition of atherosclerosis or plaque formation in the coronary artery, then what will happen? That part or that region of the heart will not able to get the proper supply of blood, and it will become dead, due to which the heart will not able to pump out the blood to the body, and there is chances of heart failure. Next we have myocarditis. Ditis means inflammation. When there is inflammation in the middle layer of the heart, that is called myocardium tissue, then what will happen? That part will become weak and enlarged, due to it will not able to pump out the blood supply properly. And this myocarditis happen due to any viral infection, any virus infection, or due to any autoimmune disease condition. Then the myocardium layer will become weak and enlarged. Next we have hypertension. When there is high blood pressure which is more than 140 by 90 mmHg, then that high blood pressure will increase that pressure force into the arteries, and which can damage that arteries, and due to damage and scarring formation in that arteries, the fats and cholesterol substance may get deposited in that region of the artery, and that pathway of artery will become narrow. And due to hypertension there is more workload, there is overburden condition in the heart, due to which that region of the heart, that part of the heart will become stiff and rigid. Next we have myocardial infarction. It is also known as heart failure. So due to coronary artery disease, when there is MI condition happen, myocardial infarction condition happen, then that region of the myocardium is yet necrosed and that become dead, due to which that region of the ventricle or either it is right ventricle or either it is left ventricle, it will not able to contract properly and will not able to relax properly, because the tissue in that region are necrosed or dead. Next we have cardiomyopathy. So there are many types of cardiomyopathy, like it could be hypertrophic cardiomyopathy, in which there is stiffness and rigidness in the ventricle chamber size. Okay, in hypertrophic cardiomyopathy, the more muscles will develop in that ventricle region and it will reduce its area, due to which there is low level of filling in the ventricles. Okay, there is poor preload condition in that ventricle region, and there can be restrictive cardiomyopathy. The muscles of that heart or ventricle region will become stiff and hard. Okay, and in cardiomyopathy there is one more condition in which the chamber of the heart are enlarged and weak and floppy, due to which they are not able to pump out the sufficient amount of blood which our body needs. Next we have aortic stenosis. When there is narrowness, okay, when there is narrowing in the aortic, the largest artery of our body. So what will happen if the aorta, there is stenosis or narrowness in the aorta, then what will happen? Our body will not able to get the proper supply of blood, and our heart have to work harder to meet our body requirements, due to which there is workload pressure increase in the heart, and it could lead to heart failure condition. Next we have congenital heart disease. If the heart structure is not properly formed from the birth, okay, it's a birth defect. If the heart is properly, its structure is not formed properly, then the whole heart will face the condition of heart failure. Next we have constrictive pericarditis. Okay, so pericardium is a layer which is surround the heart, okay. If that pericardium layer become constrictive, okay, due to any virus or any condition, then what will happen? The ventricle chamber will not able to relax properly, okay, and not able to constrict properly, means it will face the condition of diastole relaxation as well as systole condition also, okay, because there is rigidness in the pericardium, due to which the chamber will not able to relax properly, okay, the heart will not able to get the space of relaxing properly, and due to which there is poor preload accumulation of blood in the ventricle region. Next we have cardiac amyloidosis. So amyloidosis means a protein deposition, okay. So amyloid means a protein which is not in a good structure, not in a proper structure, okay. This amyloid protein is in tangled form, okay, they are clogged proteins. So this amyloid can be deposited into any organ of the body like heart, liver or kidney. So here it is cardiac amyloidosis. So it will affect the heart function condition, okay, it will affect the heart contraction and relaxation condition. Next we have heart valve disease. If the valve of the heart are not proper, if the heart valve are not properly functioning, okay, there is regurgitation in the wall. So what will happen? The blood will go back to that other region of our body, okay, like I've told you about right ventricle failure, and there is left ventricular failure, due to which there is accumulation. Due to valve disease, there is accumulation, there is backup of the blood in the body as well as in the lungs, due to heart failure, okay. Next we have diabetes. So in diabetes, a high sugar. So what high sugar do? A high sugar will stiff and make the arteries rigid, okay. Mostly we have a healthy arteries. So healthy arteries are those which are flexible and which are elastic, okay. So in diabetes condition, the sugar will make the arteries harder and stiff. And one more thing, the sugar will damage that arteries, and there will be scar formation in the arteries, due to which any bad cholesterol or any fat can deposit in that region of the artery, and it may occlude that artery, okay, it may obstruct that artery. Next we have arrhythmia. When there is tachycardia or bradycardia, means the rhythm of the heart is not proper, that is also a condition of heart failure. Next we have alcohol, tobacco, smoking. Any bad substance like tobacco and smoking have nicotine substance in them, which may irritate the arteries wall, or it can damage the arteries wall, due to which our body will not able to get the blood properly, and heart have to do extra work, extra effort for making for fulfilling the body's demand. Sedentary lifestyle, obesity. Obviously obesity is the risk factor for the heart, cardiovascular disease or many more diseases, okay. Next we have pulmonary disease due to the lung condition. Suppose we are taking the example of COPD. So what is happening in COPD? There is already low level of oxygen in the lungs. So what will happen? The blood will go into the lungs, but it will not receive the proper amount of oxygen supply, and our body will be deprived of oxygen. So what our heart will do? It will pump out the more blood to meet the sufficient oxygen demand of the body. So it will increase the pressure workload on the heart, due to which there is a condition called as pulmonary hypertension also. Due to pulmonary hypertension, there will be right ventricular failure. Okay, so these are the causes of congestive heart failure. So if you really like this video, so please like, share and subscribe to this channel for more updates.